Poets Without Borders, we are a dedicated and extremely talented group of poets who believe in the power of poetry, that poetry can bring about change towards the betterment of politics, of society, to bring about more rights for people, to bring a more righteous and just full government. So we meet from time to time and do readings that are theme-based and very flexible. Basically, these themes are very flexible, and we try to celebrate festivals of different religions, so emphasizing upon the secular nature of life and of celebrations. In this particular film, the poets being featured are Antje Sten from Germany, Tom Phillips from Bulgaria, Alicia Kuberska from Poland, Bob Whelan from USA, Gelda Castro from Brazil, Molly Joseph from India, Richard Spizak again from USA, Sabrina Di Canio, Italy, James Tian, China, Xanthi Hondru Hill, Greece, Dominic Windram, England, Claudia Piccino, Italy, Rupali Sarkar Gaur, India, Jana Orlova, Czech Republic, K. Kumar Prasanna, India, Meher Pestinji, India, and myself, Pankuri Sinha from India. I hope you like our poems. Enjoy. Thank you.
So, but every beginning is linked to the death of the old year. And the poem I'm going to read you seems very happy, but it's also a tribute to my father who faded away 2 years ago. So I will first read the English version and then the German. Wonderful. Who would not want to wake up between white bed sheets inside a birch forest, like a monk who lives his vow of silence in a quiet world, whispering to himself, how wonderful. Who would not want to live falling weightlessly through time like snow, turning on itself, humming, how wonderful. Who would not want to gallop across the prairie without a saddle and bridle, shouting, how wonderful? Who would not like to conclude one's days that are filled up like a rucksack, tasting a slice of cheesecake, murmuring, how wonderful. So now I read the German version. Wie wunderbar. Wer möchte nicht auf weißen Laken in einem Birkenwald erwachen, wie ein Mönch im Schweigegelübde flüstern, wie wunderbar. Wer möchte die Zeit nicht wie die Schneeflocken erleben, gewichtslos fallen, kreisend um sich selbst und summen, wie wunderbar. Wer möchte nicht durch die Prärie galoppieren, ohne Sattel und Zügel und dabei johlen, wie wunderbar. Wer möchte nicht seine Tage beenden, vollgepackt wie ein Rucksack, mit dem Geschmack vom Käsekuchen im Gaumen und dabei hauchen, wie wunderbar. Thank you very much.
But I have got a sort of Easter poem, or a not quite Easter poem, to read, and it's just called Against Silence. Where love hides among hammer blows on scaffolding, this not quite Easter remains in his heart. Why shouldn't he be granted his chances? This man here, on high, helmeted, arms spread on the steep of the roof, he too might be distracted by a recollection. He has his poetry. He has raged, made peace, and found in small words the unrecorded miracle. though now he's taken wholly with where beams lie under frost-cracked tiles, his outline bears no more than passing resemblance to himself. Who waits at a corner table, say, might be thinking precisely of how his hands feel, or a bulb's reflected light that late mid-April afternoon. And where they might be is everywhere. Stories that furl unnoticed through these streets, each inside each like blossom held tight within the bud that we are yet to see. With weather clearing, more emerge on balconies, street corner gardens, benches by fountains, some a little flamboyant even, or left graffiti traces. They have felt it too, in a cramped lift, hauling them out of a common day to an ochre room, or on subways, trams, a quickening of blood, and felt it still unknown. What force might drive through these tapering feeder roads and ranked office buildings might too drive out the same residual fear this man on the roof has put from his mind as he climbs to the roof tree, thins on a Gothic sky. Were it not for our inventions, perhaps, or gaunt enclosures, our drama's fated recurrence, our comfort in the circular lack of curiosity, generous ghost, it waits for us. We sense a presence, glimpse it as a wreath of mist, a hand at the window in place of other wounds. And a dozen or so in one photograph taken by chance, their distance is immutable. That woman's face forever anxious, her daughter's forever young, and that old one at the center, forever leaning forward into her next step. Digression follows digression, and where he stood on the roof, a magpie squats, keeping the steep to itself, then hops to the chimney pot, stalls itself with outstretched wings, cross-hatched on the blue, like something waiting to be reborn. Thank you.
Encounter with a stranger. We call it at the speed of light, and we stood amazed. This was such an unexpected meeting. In the terms of logic, it was hardly possible. Maybe we met in a bar at different tables. We passed indifferently on the street. We sat silently next to each other on the subway. Certainly, we exchanged a few controversial views and revealed some is easier with a person without a face. Thank you.
Wow. Do you want to read, ma'am?
Can you repeat, please?
Do you want to read the Polish version as well?
I don't think so, because nobody can understand Polish. Maybe I will read very short poem in Polish because it's unknown language for you.
Aha.
Sylwester. Przywitałam kolejny rok w nowej sukience i szpilkach. Wesoło zaszumiały bąbelki w szampanie. Na niebie rozbłysły kolorowe gwiazdki. Stare problemy westchnęły, poczłapały w kolejny dzień.
I'll celebrate springtime, and it's called Spring Always Returns. Spring always returns, but innocence does not. Open a window through which the truth will pass. The dry, wild leaves gave a name to loneliness. On the floor are ashes that hold the secrets of the stars. Can your heart know what destiny it serves? Or is it so independent you can follow it no longer?
It's entitled Pesach, a crossing of faith. Pesach, Easter, synonymous with meanings and importance with different characteristics. In the early days, the Creator chose a people and made an alliance with him, a pact, a promise, crossing market for the dryness of deserts, wars, famine, trials diverse to the promised land. In another time, the Creator sent someone special, his own son, and everything was made new. A new and definitive alliance marked all humanity for always in BC and AC. If before the people walked through the arid desert to celebrate Pesach, now the path has been made by the cross. Of the different moments marked by the biggest expressions of faith and love. Until that Easter, definitive passage happens in the core of each human creature. Happy Pesach and Easter to every one of you.
Lord, how well you resurrected over evil, over all fear, suffering, helplessness that haunted, tortured you when you turned a human on earth. So much your love for man to teach him how suffering can be redemptive. Lord, how on these darkling plains of an engrossing epidemic, we grope in misery. Fear abounds. Heavier it grows, the sadness, when clipped off from our spreading wings of prayers in your places of worship. Forgive us our excesses, trespasses, onslaughts on nature, fellow beings, animate, inanimate. Like wanton children, we played wild with our resources, sapping them full. Now we suffer, a state of our own making. Lord, help us resurrect, traversing these valleys of despair with hope. May your goodness, kindness prevail, piercing the glow. Friends, just another short poem too. Lord, how will we resurrect like you, breaking shackles, insults, injuries? Blindfolded we are, throwing stones at each, seldom realizing it catapults. We build cages for others, seldom realizing the cage is ours. We force our creed on others through camouflage. Devious we are, imposters, casting insults, ignominy. Help us resurrect from our selfish, self-made sepulchres, where essential goodness, kindness lie interred.
Golden bees. Follow me, oh my fellow golden bees, up, up and out of our glowing geometric home, our perfect living comb, To every bee's dream, our theme and gentle fanned rest. Up, up and out, into the sacred sun-drenched garden, where every aromatic flower's face welcomes your gentle golden touch. See the arcing blessed rays, how each reachy beam buffets with its gentle caress every morning's moment of life, growing delight. How every flower shines and shimmers with that very moment of your warm and generous blessings heat. How rich the velvet golden fire showers its blessings, casts its spell of warm sympathy that the dear plants so thirsty drink and endear moment by moment into their every fiber and being. Shine on my sparkling silver wings that fly, embracing warmth that does guide and bless each and all of earth with its gentle, loving breath. Light our way with your warm, buttery blessing, for it is only by thy dancing rainbowed light we find our path illumined across the delirious scented garden. Then dive deeper into the very heart of heaven's blossom. Each beating magnetic moment of your star fire's pulsating embrace thrills our very blood with your infinite golden reach. Dive deep will I into each flower's living heart, while they dress me and dance me in their sweetness perfume. Your generous bounty on us all below warms us, delights our every moment along our dazzling, bejeweled journey, finding our way across thy beneficent, begarlanded glory, gilded richly with your weighty golden handiwork. Grant us, O golden God, that we, your busy, buzzing toilers, grant us that sweet sustenance from your scented, intoxicating, and so generous bounty, diving deep from our arcing, soaring paths down into the deepest flowery center, guided ever by your all-penetrating beams. Each iridescent beating flower's heart pulses in an intoxicating bounty of ambered sweet beads of delirious delight. Cover us in your fine powdered glory as we drink in these pretty flower fountains, nourished ever from your all-streaming generous heart. I fairly swoon and sway, so bedecked am I from your amorous scented embrace. Carry we home our golden booty from the back to our dearest sweet and golden glowy home. Deliver we out our charge of grace. Pour we out each journey's bounty, lifted from our labors in your scented and richly favored flute. Sunbeams guided every flying moment by your intimate and distant reaches, fiery, licking power, our great home, but the geodetic factored shadow of your golden glancing bounty. Our innermost strength only flows from your vital power's truth. No flower shining glory except through your showering glory spent. We return bedecked, rich, and happily burdened by your gracious garden's bounty, so soaring glided by our great sun's powerful blessing, O great golden sun, whose unblinking power guides and warms our flighty path, and ever richly rains her golden blessing on every garden's shining face. Light, O light ever thou, our airy road, and be forever our endless fountain of starry grace. In starfire we live, in starfire we are warmed, in starfire we are fed, in starfire we are ever guided.
What I'm going to read now is my poem Ancora. I will read it in Italian first and later on in English. Ancora. Vieni, vieni a incontrarmi sotto l'ala in morbido seno, Sotto la frasca riposa il mio silenzio. Vieni a incontrarmi, dove sbuffi di verde abbracciano quest'ora della sera. Ancora ti annovero tra ciò che mi rincuora, e la tua voce estiva col suo fruscio di stelle mi fa volare tra aeree meduse notturne, pare fatta per condurmi a vite segrete. Okay, now in English, still. Come and meet me under the wing in soft breast, under the branch my silence rests. Come and meet me where paths of green embrace this evening hour. I still count you among what earthens me, and your summer voice, with its rustle of stars, makes me fly among aerial nocturnal jellyfish. It seems done to lead me to sacred lives. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Reason. Hadn't ever talked with myself in the past. Life is just life from the mirror glass. Hadn't ever thought to give up. Reason like out loud may not be so hard. Just afraid of forgetting my name, and speed of the stage is going fast. The tolerance of the world isn't clear enough. Leave a little comfort and hold like a star. Keep candlelight and grade the Easter eggs. I know the understanding isn't necessary, accepting. Under the turnover struggle is sober. How to disgusting. Good from bad is still uncertain. Leave half of myself as a bosom friend. Wake up the perfectly hurt with lightning. Perhaps each second is grand arrangement. The dawn of this moment is just coming. Okay, hope you like it. Thank you very much. And best regards to you all.
I will read you a poem which is written by Miltiadis Dovas, and he is an award-winning poet, and I have translated or tried to translate the whole collection, which is called Screams. And I will read the poem Resurrection, first in Greek and then in English. Αναστήτω. Ο χώρος στένεψε. Ο χρόνος πέθανε. Πέθανε παρέα με τους θεούς. Μέσα στο λυκοφός που αχνοφαίνεται από το σφραγισμένο κήπο της απάτης, ο χρόνος πεθαίνει και ξαναζεί. Ο Χριστός μοναχικός στρατιώτης της φωτιάς δολοφόνησε τα τελευταία απομεινάρια των νεκρών. Αθάνατη θνητή στο ίδιο τσουβάλι. Ο χρόνος πέθανε. Κυδεύτηκε με τιμές στον αιώνα. Μία καμπάνα να χτυπάει δυνατά και ο Ντάκος να φωνάζει μαζί με το Χριστό. Αναστήτω! Resurrection. The space got small. Time passed away, died together with the gods. In the twilight which is fading, in the fenced-off garden of betrayal, time dies and is resurrected. Christ, the lonely soldier of fire, has killed the last remnants of the dead. Immortals, mortals, all on the same pile. Time died, was buried with honors last century. A bell is ringing really loud. and Dakos is screaming together with Jesus, "Rise!" Thank you.
It's simply entitled Easter Week 2021. This week, eternity descends from wounded skies and crashes like lightning into our humdrum lives. We are required to decipher seemingly grim and obscure symbols, hymns and signs, which indeed in our glazed modern eyes belong to some other time. Yet transfiguration of potent bread and wine into flesh and blood provides rich meaning throughout each slow century and makes sense of grief and doubt. New notions arrive from ancient ceremonies. This age still yearns to address deeply human needs. Easter is a time torn between the dark and light of being in an estranged world. Yet blossoms white and pink emerge in spring after winter's harsh rain. Their Christ-like beauty in our memories remains. Easter's a time for renewal and reflection, from cold crucifixion to warm resurrection. For this solemn week speaks of profound human pain and life's redemption, like the healing April rain. Thank you.
Wastelands in the spoken decision, in the crowded expanses, in the shown derision. Be aware of the loving utterances. Bow down to my ravings. Read every accent as if it was gospel. And don't be afraid of the baleful wrath, because it is more honest than the repeated flattery, than the silence that falls when you arrive, than the unsafe desire to appear. Wastelands invoke oblivion. May a source gushing absinthe drops mixed with morphine, and may lull the winds that shake memories. May the breeze calm or a tornado awake itself. However, the sun is ready to eat these debordate lands, these expanses stressed by the storm of madness, by the indolence of rationality, by the envy of the losers. At the dawn of a new day, I will wait for you, but the path will already be filled with fresh sprouts to perfume these my wastelands that will bloom in green meadows inside me. The second one, thank you. The second one is a short poem, The Easter I Would Like. If my cross may become a worm and may eliminate itself, I would see a gap on the horizon and would leave the ballast on the mountain. If the fatigue of the day would lead me elsewhere, the splendor of the night that cloaks everything, that hides everything, will flood everything with the dark ink in order to defeat evil. Thank you.
So this is called Holy Hai. Hai means it is holy today. So tonight when the sun sets and the evening sky is aflame, the rich and the poor, women and men and children in small villages and big cities across India will burn a woman on the pyre. She will be set on fire. This beautiful sister of a wicked king called Hiranyakashipu. Holika, they say, was a demon, a woman with magic powers. Goodbye, winter, welcome spring. The rhythm of the dholak will remix with Bollywood songs and make us all flay our arms and gyrate and thrust our hips in glee. The excited fire will penetrate the sky as a beautiful woman who they say was a demon, will be burnt to ashes. Tomorrow, Bunty, Bablu, Sonu, Bholu will camouflage their faces smear colors, green, blue, yellow, and pink, and run through the narrow lane singing Rekha Rekha, Purana Mano, Holi Hai, touching any face, groping any breast. It is all in fun. And what fun, we will say. It is holy, holy hai, holy hai. In not so far away Hathras, they also burnt a woman's body after sunset. She too, they said, was a daim, a demon. The dholaks were silent. Only the devil danced. He had lit the hellfires. Thank you.
It is spring, unstoppable day, was born chaotically until now, like the frozen fingers of kindness. It is spring, I cross myself with you, but I do not encounter bones, deeds, memories of spring. So this was the first one. And now I'm going into the second one. The Asian gods are still online. I would like to lie with hops overgrown in the woods, like my fur in the strained fascia of a clerk. I will measure out my desire for you with steps, torture for the advanced. And I know there is still time because the Asian gods are still online. Thank you for your attention.
And colors of life I try to comprehend, yet least I discerned as it splashed with variegated shades of pains and pleasures. Some stains left to cherish forever, some blots left blemishes of dirty deeds. I drank assorted colors of lust, anger, and ego, and you name it, dude. I did those things that never cross your mind. I painted myself with white, yes, that's for outer appearance. I concealed my true shades of blues. Life offered me to enjoy dazzling rainbow. Alas, I chose the path where I discarded all festivities. Be it Holy, be it Easter, be it Passover, be it makeover for the wedding ceremony. You name it, dude, I assumed all colors, not the beauty of it, but only had bitten the dust of mist. Thank you for the opportunity.
So now the poem is Navroz Mubarak. Greetings for a new year, good wishes for a new day, for every day. March 21st, spring equinox. Arriving, a new earth cycle of seasons, seasons arriving, passing, returning. No beginning, no end. Cycle of day and night, death and life, ocean tides, water cycle, nitrogen cycle, rock cycle, vicissitudes of time. Wave follows wave, moment by moment. Tides take 12 hours to turn. Rocks need thousands of years to metamorphose into new forms, to be eroded after another 1,000 years. Endless earth cycles. Mubarak to every new cycle, to every new day, to every new year. Navroz Mubarak. Thank you.
The title of the poem is The Great Game of Coloring. In that great game of coloring, where so much is adulterated with, including meanings of things, air, water, food, where evidence against crime is tampered with, Holi, the festival of pouring, playing with colors. comes as a timely, somber reminder to color up front and in proportion. To never color unnecessarily, overly, of keeping the game balanced, impartial. In all walks of life, festival, work, family, society, colors step everywhere as a necessity. No one wants a colorless life, and no one wants anything artificially colored. Talk specially emotions truly at a time when hearsays, gossips, and fake news are threatening to cloud over spheres of knowledge so pertinent to look for true colors. Seek true feelings and yet so very ironically holy. The auspicious festival becomes another occasion to target young girls, women passing by with water cannons, balloons, even acid. In a time getting violent by the hour, each proximity with the female kind is being misused to come closer dangerously. At a time when danger lurks in the friendliest corner, can we not pledge? Can we not pledge on the eve of this festival, celebrating nearness, bridging distances, to keep all proximities beautiful? At a time when fire destroys refugee camps, arson or accident in very tight spots, can we remember the evil king Hiranyakashipu, who attempted to burn his own son, a devotee to a god he fought with, along with his sister deemed a demon woman with magical powers to resist fire? But she used them to save Prahlad, the intended kill, and sacrificed herself, say the poets. The believers say God came to rescue Prahlad and Holika got burnt. Stripping the story of miraculous elements would still leave us with riddles. We can keep solving them, or we might just pledge to make the world safer for all women, targeted often, for whom secluded corners, even empty green forests, are spots of danger. Can we pledge this Easter to make less and less refugees, less war and more goodwill, a country for everyone, and fewer evictions, no cleansing, ethnic or religious, to stop the sprouting of tiny makeshift huts? Can we rise this Easter to fight for everyone's equality? पहले हिंदी, शीर्षक कविता का नक्शा। कविता का अपना एक रोमान तो होता ही है, अपना एक नक्शा भी होता है। वह जाने किन पहाड़ों पठारों से होती हुई लांघती सारी राजनैतिक सीमाएं, अक्सर किसी नदी नहीं तो सूख रहे या भर दिए जा रहे जलाशय पर आ टिकती है। नदियों के तलछट का भी अपना एक रोना है, उसमें नदियों का होना तो है पर बहुत कुछ का खोना भी, और इस रुदन में अपना एक कंपन होता है, कारण और वजूद भी, और इस तरह एक पूरा नक्शा होता है कविता का। और अचानक इस तात्कालिक शहर के नक्शों के ऊपर उतर जाने से रूट कर जंगलों में चली जाती है कविता। And now in English, the title is The Map of Poetry. Poetry almost always has a romantic element, also has a map, passing through strange, innumerable mountains, plateaus, crossing boundaries politically created. It often comes to sit by a river drying up or a pond being filled. There is a separate cry about the riverbed. in which the river is inevitably present, but so is the loss of so much beauty around, and this cry, this scream, has its own vibrations, reverberations, reasons and persona, and thus comes into being a neat map of poetry. And behold, with the sudden imposition of towns dilapidating like my own, poetry is sulking away, walking calmly into the tranquility of the forests. Thank you.